When we arrived, my grandmother would scuttle off to pull something fresh baked out of the oven. This was always something unusual. My grandmother was the only person I ever knew, possibly the only person who ever lived, who actually made things from the recipes on the back of food packets. These dishes always had names like Rice Krispie and Banana Chunks Upside Down Cake, or Del Monte Lima Bean and Pretzel Party Snacks. Generally, they consisted of suspiciously large amounts of the manufacturer's own products, usually in combinations you wouldn't think of, except perhaps in an especially severe famine. The one thing to be said for these dishes was that they were novel. When my grandmother offered you a steaming slab of cake or a wedge of pie, it might contain almost anything. Niblet sweet corn, chocolate chips, Spam, diced carrots, peanut butter. Generally, it would have some Rice Krispies in there somewhere. My grandmother was particularly partial to Rice Krispies and would add a couple shovelfuls to whatever she made, even if the recipe didn't call for it. She was about as bad a cook as you can be, without actually being hazardous. It was time to stop. Just down the road stood a little town, which I shall call Dullard, lest the people recognize themselves and take me to court or come to my house and batter me with baseball bats. On the edge of town was an old motel, which looked pretty seedy. Though judging by the absence of charred furniture in the front yard, it was clearly a step up from the sort of place my dad would have chosen. I pulled onto the gravel drive and went inside. A woman of about 75 was sitting behind the desk. She wore butterfly glasses and a beehive hairdo. She was doing one of those books that require you to find words in a mass of letters and then circle them. I think it was called Word Puzzles for Morons. "Help you?" she drawled without looking up. "I'd like a room for the night, please." "That'll be $38.50, she replied, as her pen fell greedily on the word yup. I was nonplussed. In my day, a motel room cost about $12. "I don't want to buy the room," I explained. "I just want to sleep in it for one night." She looked at me gravely at the tops of her glasses. "The room is $38.50 per night, plus tax. You want it or not?" She had one of those disagreeable accents that add a syllable to every word. Tax came out as tax. We both knew I was miles from anywhere. "Yes, please," I said contritely. I signed in and crunched across the gravel to my sweet de nuit.